I am the hunted, but now it's time to become the hunter. And what better game to play to become the hunter than playing a fighting game? And let's see who's our first match. It's gonna be Ed. So let's rock and roll. This is gonna be my rank run. I'm just looking at some of the best matches I had and some of the hardest losses I've gotten so far, and trying to improve. Yeah, it starts off good with the spider web. That's what I like to call it. I need to remember to like jive impact the spider web. That's like 9 times out of 10 the best option for it. I need to stop jumping. That's like a problem I have. I just need to commit to a different option because jumping is like, I don't know. I think it's like a panic response for me. When I walk forward again, I get clipped a lot. Even when I like try to walk forward and then like quickly block, I still get hit. So it's rough. But he gets the first round. Honestly, he just had really good spacing, right? So just for me, it's just, you know, getting him into my sphere of influence so I can play my game. I punished the spiderweb, which is good. My short, stubby buttons, man. I just need to, again, just keep using my sphere of influence. There are like other things I can go out of from the heavy, crouching heavy punch, but yeah, they take too long to come out. And the fact that that combo didn't kill and I used level 2 there and a full charge and heavy DP and it didn't kill, like, I'm telling you, Cammy is so ass. But like, when you like a character, you just play her or him regardless of how good they are in meta. I get a combo. Nice. I was gonna do a double upload, but I realized the second video that I recorded, half of the video or half of the recording wasn't recording because I didn't have space on my computer. So the parts I wanted to show, I can't show. But luckily, I got these ranked matches in. So yeah, let's just learn from here. I feel like these matches are ones that I look at with more scrutiny, because in these matches, I don't know, people just play differently. Differently meaning they will play scummy, and differently meaning they will lame you out and not care. So yeah, just trying to figure out how to deal with that. I might just start ranking casually now, because I feel like it's pointless doing norms at this rate, because like I'll beat 2 master rank players, lose to 1 master rank Ryu or something, and then all of a sudden I'm just crushing lower rank players until I fight an overtuned character, and then it's just like, I'd rather just fight master rank players, man. Matches mean nothing to me when I beat lower ranks, and then if they beat me, they just like one and done me or some shit. All they have to do is win 1 round and they get like some fucking inflatable head. I wish I could have converted off that heavy punch, but maybe I wasn't ready. But yeah, I'm just getting my hits off. That was a very ambitious drive impact from me. Input error sucks. Input errors, fucking killer. That would have been my game for sure. Start up of the video, man. Let's try to close it out. Though I won't lie, after that mist, and I don't get the punish off this, like, my mental has gone boom. It's challenging to persevere through that when you know you had the kill last round and then he kills you, and then you don't get the punish off of something you block. It's just like, what the fuck is going on, man? Well, it's 1-1. Let's keep it going. I always think after the spider web they go for the grab, but he goes for the grab there. How ironic. Again, it's just spacing, spacing. Cammy has a very small sphere of influence, so trying to get him into that range of effectiveness is getting any character into that range of effectiveness now. Given everything that's happened, is kind of challenging unless they're in corner. At this point, it's kind of just like, there's not much I can do. He could just play the defensive turn very ignorant and win out. Which, yeah, like sphere of influence. Off of this match alone, I know I need to use the heavy medium kick more and try to use the did I say heavy medium kick? The heavy and medium kick is what I meant to say. So yeah, just incorporate those more into my game plan from a distance, so that way I can kind of like inch forward to continue my pressure. Very nice, we're on the board, but I don't like that ending because it's very like you get into that mindset and it's very easy to counteract. Like in some matches I have grabbed drive impacts, and in some matches I've had my drive impact countered by another drive impact. So it's like a 50-50, man. I did manage to drive impact the spiderweb. Oh, that was gross. That was like a general fat finger. I don't know what the fuck was going on in my mind. Oh, and I lose off that too. Oh my god. So basically, what I learned from this match is just utilizing my space to lull them to so that way I can start my party, and securing my button inputs to where I'm doing what I want to do. Because if I would have converted into my aerial combo there like I wanted, the match would have been over. Again, it was 2 games that I fucked up on, and those 2 games he won. He won the whole set off of. So just improving off those, those small mistakes, truly do kill you in these higher ranks. So you just gotta be better. Gotta be better. Honestly, Dawson was just one of them characters, man, where it's just annoying. Like the way this guy's playing, in my mind, I just don't see any general thought. He's just pressing buttons to where it like covers an option, right? It's not like he's like, oh, like I think he's gonna jump here, so I'm gonna do this random thing. No, you're just pressing buttons, guy. You know what I mean? Like, though I'd rather play against a guy like this than a guy that just backs up and waits for you to like whiff a button to punish. Like that to me just gets annoying because it's like I'm literally chasing you around. You're not trying to engage at all. It's like I don't know, man. If it was like the UFC, they'd take a point off. You know what I'm saying? Like shit's ridiculous. But yeah, we get the first game. Like that's my thing too. Like I normally in my casual matches, I realize if I play solid, no mistakes, I'll get the first 2 games, no problem, easy. The third game though, it's a toss up because it's like either they adapt or that's where I start, screwing up, and just trying to come back in that instance is just it's hard for me. It's hard for me, especially when they have momentum. Like as Cammy, I feel like when I DP, they press a button and it beats my DP. Like I've gotten my DP grab before, so it's just like I can't rely on these options, so it's hard. It's hard, but you know trying to figure out ways to get around it, trying to get figure out ways to get through it. It's just what I got to do, what I'm trying to do. Oh, flyer. Wow. Yeah, it's just Cammy range. They just walk back a little bit, and then I whiff a button. He has stretchy limbs, so his range is a little bit better. So Just gonna try and force him into the corner here. It is what it is, you know. It's just teleporting around, man. This character is just this character is whatever, man. Like I don't know. Grabs my button is fine. Hits me with a drive rush low and takes the round. Takes the game. Like I don't know, just trying to incorporate momentum and like that combo I just did. It's inconsistent. It doesn't work for every character, even if the situation is the exact same. So like again, my mind starts to crumble in these moments because it's like there's no consistency. There's nothing to rely on really other than like Cammy's light conversions, and I'm genuinely not good at getting close enough to utilize them in specific matchups, especially in these ones. Like you see how much the guy's like literally flailing around trying to do something, you know, and it's just kind of like I have to control his random bullshit to then incorporate a very specific game plan that works in a very specific manner, you know, and it the thing that irritates me the most is like you saw how my standing medium punch hit, right? That means I should get a crouching medium kick for free, right? Well, you as you guys saw, it got interrupted. So it's like again, things that I like more things that should work that don't. You know what I mean? It's just again more inconsistencies. I know that there are like some ways where you can go instead of crouching medium kick, you can go into like heavy punch and get a conversion off that, but I think it's only on counter hit. But yeah, now we're fighting an Elena, and to like honestly, Elena again, you just got to get past the pointy parts of the spear, and the matchup's pretty easy. But again, I think most Elena players they kind of realize that, and you see how what she's doing is kind of like the general consensus that I feel the most Elena players do is just back up and back up, throw my far buttons right to catch random like check of some kind, go into damage. If they get too close, just DP and rinse and repeat. You know, it's a very basic game plan, but it's this character can execute that game plan very well with again her buttons. So it's just you know yeah, it just is what it is. This in my opinion is just like it's going to turn similarly into the Dawson matchup, except for without fireballs. It's your game plan as Cammy is to get in, get like a quick punish off, and just slowly push them into the corner, right? And then run your big offense in the corner. But you know, as the ranks go up, the harder I feel like that's gonna be, unless you're like insane with it. So yeah, just trying to get to that level of insanity to where I can just enforce my will regardless of how shitty the person is playing. Like, and that's another thing that I realized too in ranked and in this meta is that it just supports brain dead play. Like JP players, some Ken players, like or not, some Ryu players. Not really Ken anymore. Ken kind of has to go a little bit more of the legit path. But yeah, you saw the Dalsum. You know what I'm saying? They can really just enforce these kind of Guile too. Can kind of just enforce these like really dumb game plans that are just again supported by the game because their buttons are really good and the character can actually implement the strategy needed to win the game. And their strategy isn't hard to do either. They don't have to have multiple touch situations. They can do a lot of damage off of very little. They can literally play micro and just like just not even worry about combos. Just use like these small buttons that will stack up because they do maybe like 5% here, 10% there. You know what I mean? It's just it's annoying. It's really annoying, especially when maybe I get 5 or 10% off of B&B. You know, that took me a lot of effort to get out. You know. But yeah, I digress. This matchup has just been a loop of what I've been saying before. You know, it's just trying to get past the spear and trying to implement my game plan in a way to where I'm not dying. And I get my conversion into level 3 here. I think this should be death, but with Cammy damage, who knows? 1 HP, and then she DPs. I mean, I don't know. Did she play that good or did I play that bad? I don't really know, man. I don't really feel like, again, I'm getting hit with too many combos. It's just 5% here, 10% there, and then you know what I'm saying. I have to go all out in some situations, and in those situations with other characters, they would have received the kill, but since I'm playing, I want to say Cammy's a nerf character. You know what I mean? And she doesn't really need nerfs. I think if anything, Cammy is a character that would probably need buffs, especially to match some of the other characters. But again, it is what it is. You got to just do what you can and hunt your prey, right? Yeah, I got off with that, and yeah, who's up next? Now we must feast on a venomous snake. Maybe, hopefully, this gives us some immunity to her poisons. But yeah, honestly, Aki is just one of those characters where she honestly doesn't even need to walk forward. Her buttons will force the other player to interact. So she can just, hide behind those buttons until, like, again, that person walks up and then gets caught by, her sticking her finger out, or, getting hit by a stray bubble. If you're face to face with her and she just starts spamming her crouching lights, that those could interrupt you. If you're not paying too much attention and you get caught up in too much mix, you get caught up in the command grabs and stuff like that. So yeah, and then if you're lucky enough to get this lady in the corner, guess what? She gets a free escape, and you can't really interrupt it. So you just gotta figure out how to catch her. She's as slippery as an eel, but she's not the Grinch. Yeah, but I managed to suppress her very well in that game. So yeah, it wasn't too annoying. But I can kind of tell by how this Aki is playing that she's not a good Aki player. Well, like, obviously she's like decent, right? But like, she's not, like, again, she's not trying to set up combos. She's not trying to hit me with anything crazy. And that was a light DP too, by the way, and that misses. Like, Cammy combos are so inconsistent, bro. Like, again, you have to be like, you can't miss a second. You really can't miss a second on this character. If you do, you're gonna miss, and then you're gonna get punished because you have horrible recovery. So all I can do is what I can, and what I can do is punch this bitch as hard as I fucking can. And so that's what I'm going to try and do. But again, my sphere of influence is small. It's very small, so I'm going to just try my best to imply it in the most precise, most concentrated manner possible, and hopefully punch a hole through her head. Oh, very nice. Execution. We're dropping a missile. Drop the payload. And now the snake has been successfully defanged. I wonder who is up next. From a snake to a bear. Looks like all of Mother Nature's troublesome creatures are coming out to bear their fangs at me. But again, I am the hunter, and my traps are ready. Let's just see if we can't get a good catch. I could convert off that heavy punch. Some of these traps that I'm laying, right, can be hard to trust in some situations because it all depends on the player you're fighting, their reaction to the trap, right? So again, it's very situational. It's very irritating, and just getting used to that is gonna take more time and more familiarity with the trap itself. So we get that game, which is good, but we need more. I'm not satisfied. Overhead hits, it's good from him. That little, what is that? What would you call that? Little trick he tried to do with the demon rush normally would catch me, but I'm getting used to it slowly. Normally, so in some instances, you can jab it, right? But if he's too close, it's your best to jump it and try to punish it that way. And you get more reward off of it too, so long as your buttons don't fuck up on you, like I've explained multiple times. Yeah, but we're on the board. Let's go. Trying to catch him, obviously I knew he was gonna block there too, but again, as Cammy, you know, I just have to try and get used to DPing them when they randomly free jump like that in the corner, because in that instance my DP will hit. And if I was a better player, I would have actually punished the level 1 and gotten a conversion off of it. But you know these I'm trying to be like controlled, because if I empty jump block and he DPs, I get big punish, right? But again, and it's just, there's a lot of options going on in my brain to try and like figure out what he's trying to do in that instance when I jump, to where I can get the most benefit for the least amount of risk. And again, like, it can be a little bit challenging. Sometimes I do overthink these matches, and trying to simplify my approach is a challenge for me. It is a challenge for me. When you see a lot of options, it's hard to tell yourself to focus on one and deal with the consequences of that one. I need to stop jumping. But yeah, he has a standing problem, so I just abuse. I abuse. And now look at this scum-sucking leech. I threw this match in here because I need to learn it. And genuinely, I hate this character with a burning passion, because this is a good example of a character that doesn't play a Street Fighter. Like, you know what I mean? He's one of those characters that he actually doesn't have to walk up on you. He's like a worse version of Guile, I would say. He could throw the shadows at you, throw the spikes at you from far, and then just spam it. Like, look at this. Now it's your turn to play a guessing game that never ends. You have no good options to prevent it, and that grab is like, it's hard to resist that grab. Like, I know it's happening. I try to counter grab it, and it don't work. I get grabbed. So this matchup is ass. But again, just trying to get him in my sphere of influence, utilize my traps, and kill this fucker, and so I can use that cane to shove it up his ass. That is really the goal. I want to make him choke on it, personally. But you know what? He gets a good drive impact. I'll say that. Was that the first combo he's done in the entire game? Reversal. Reversal. Like, at that point, and then he won and done to me, man. Like, scumbag players, bro. Scumbag players. But I have to do better there. Obviously, jumping 3 times in a row was not the smart idea. But again, if I'm gonna get throw looped, you know, there are no options I can do other than like super or yeah, like super that would counteract that. But if he blocks it, I lose anyway. So it's like, what's the safest option? Cross up. If I cross up and my cross up whiffs, then he gets a punish. You know what I mean? And then it's just again the options just become harder because they're not as effective. Like my options aren't as effective in my opinion. So it's difficult. It's difficult to think of an option. It's difficult to think of an option. I DP and it's gonna get blocked, and then I'm gonna regret ever using DP. You know what I mean? It's like, but if they use a DP, it's like a genius new plan. You know what I mean? It's like the first person in there had to sell T-shirts. It's like, oh my god, bro, you're fucking Einstein in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that conversion because again, it's not reliable. It's not good for. It's like the risk isn't worth the reward. Even though I won this game, I still don't want to have to rely on that strategy because again, all I have to do is level 3 or drive impact it back, grab it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Cammy's drive impact is very slow and it's easy to read, right? So I don't know. I just don't. Yo, Metro don't trust it, so I shoot it. I don't trust it. I get a good combo. That's my favorite bread and butter. So I always gotta throw it out there whenever I get the opportunity. He's you know what I'm saying? He's a Kuma. He does damage. Anything he does will do damage. So playing the matchups as safely as I can is the goal. Like, that combo should have killed, dude. That combo is so niche. It is so niche and hard to get. It would feel better for the Cammy player who's struggling as is to at least kill off that. Leaving a character at 1% every single time is so gross. It's so gross. And like, I would play other characters. Like, I do know how to play Mai. I do know how to play Bison, but at the same time, I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy playing Cammy. It's just, I don't know what it is, and having to force change because my character just has like so many frustrating pitfalls. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know, but we win. So what are we complaining about? Another Elena. Let's go. Honestly, I love looking. I love like fighting Elena. The character is really nice to just see. She's a breath of fresh air in the game. I do know how to play her to an extent too. That's why I know the matchup fairly well. I suggest anybody who doesn't quite understand playing against the character to play that character, because just playing the character, you will have to understand the game plan if you actually want to get good at the character. So yeah, just like spend a day or two just like learning the character. You don't even have to really rank with them. Just play a couple of matches, learn how to do some combos, understand like what that character has to do to really get the game plan started, to get their party started, and you can stop it every time. I feel like there's a reason why pro players can play almost like every character in the game, right? And they're super annoying to play against, right? It's because they played every character to a decently high extent to where they understand this is what they want to do at like certain levels of the game, right? And if you're lower on the totem pole than them with that character, then it's guaranteed that you're going to lose, right? Even if they're not playing that character as a main. So it just, the more knowledge is power. All right, that's generally what I'm trying to say. I'm fine with this. Again, I like, in the moment I'm mad about it, but watching it over again, like, she's wearing purple. She looks adorable. You know what I mean? Like, I can't hate. It's hard. it's really hard. So, let's just try to grab grab her with our thighs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. We're just gonna imply our game plan and continue to imply it. Alright, and that game goes to us. The game does go to us, indeed. Some Elenas, like, they're either gonna have a crouching problem or a standing problem, and figuring out which Elena you are is gonna just take a matter of like a couple of seconds for me. I feel like most Elenas, like at the start, they're gonna have a standing problem, and I'm trying to use the overhead from the hooligan to catch buttons when I feel like they're gonna be pressing, and then that's where I can really start getting like big conversions off and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, so if you're like a Cammy player trying to learn and get better at the game, just try and figure out when you think they're gonna press a button and see if your hooligan can counteract that button, right? And if it does and they go low, you just hit them with that overhead, get a counter, and run your party, run your game plan. It's the key. But again, it's hard to implement because it takes a lot of precision and timing. A lot of precision and timing. A lot of Cammy stuff isn't auto. You have to manually do it, and again, it can be that is in and of itself is really frustrating. That was a good counter drive impact from her into level 3. She's just trying to come back from the damage deficit, which is fine. But she tried. Rest in peace, African beauty. And now we're back to a bear, bro. Again, like, we gotta declaw these bears, bro. Like, ugh. Imagine if Cammy Hooligan, overhead Hooligan, worked like the Demon Flip Karate Chop. Her offensive game plan would be so much better. I tried something new there, and I wasn't sure if it would hit, and the fact that it didn't hit, I'm like, okay, food for thought for later, but at the same time, why didn't it hit, Like, he was obviously in the air, and that button does work in some combos, like, that's where I need to learn, like, what the distinction is. Like, do I have to get the heavy kick twice to guarantee the forward heavy kick hits? Like, why can't it just work off the one time, especially if they have sufficient airtime? Like, anyway, countered the fireball, which is good for me. The only thing I could have done there was block. But again, I don't want to give up my turn, especially when again, Cammy has to have multiple situations go in her favor, twice the amount as the average player, and then he one and does me like a bitch. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? If I lose in a rank match, I have to hold that shit and I run my fucking set. You know what I'm saying? I don't one and done. I don't do that shit. I have to learn the set. I have to learn the matchup. That's why I lose. If you one and done, you'll never learn the matchup. Even if you're on the winning side, you'll never learn why the fuck you won. You'll just feel like I'm pressing buttons here. What the fuck, The only time I ever really one and done, the only time I ever feel like one and dunning is if I'm playing against the Cammy player and I genuinely feel like the Cammy player is decent and I'm just a little bit better. I don't like killing other bees. I don't like doing it. It feels like a crime. I don't want to do it, so I don't. But in this rank session, I kind of realized that this bee in and of herself is not on par with me, but I need points, so I'm going to politely borrow some of her honey, if that makes any sense. So yeah. The mirror match is very simple. It's whoever gets their game plan started first, whoever gets their party started first kind of just wins. If you're on the back foot as Cammy in the Cammy mirror and you manage to swing the momentum in your favor, it can be kind of frustrating for the other person to figure out, hey, how can I deter this, She tried to go for a grab there. I don't know why. I just decide to, lay her to rest. And it doesn't kill. But I kind of expected that off of the last time I tried to level 3 someone and they didn't. They live with 1 HP and they should have died. So I kind of accepted the fact that my level 3 is probably just never gonna kill. So yeah, that's another thing I gotta warn my fellow Cammy players about. Just never assume your combo is gonna kill, because as soon as you do and you're just like, what I'm saying, you scratch your face because you feel like it's gonna kill, and it doesn't kill, and then you lose. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel good, especially when you have to have multiple combat situations in your favor to win the game. It just, I don't know. And like, I don't understand why Cammy, like, y'all can let me know if I'm wrong in the comments, but it doesn't make sense to me why Cammy's the only character in the game that has to have more positive interactions in her favor to win the game. Like, who else has that problem? Literally no one. Like, literally no one. Especially now, because everyone, I feel like, does like freaky damage pretty easy. Pretty easy. Especially like, I guess the Shotos. The Shotos are the characters that they want to be like extremely good in this game, which is fine, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I feel like all the characters should be good, and they shouldn't, like, one character shouldn't have to have multiple situation when every other character doesn't need to. You know what I mean? Like, I still don't understand why Zangief is the only good grappler in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. These things don't make sense to me. Like, why is Marisa bad? Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, in my opinion, Marisa is like a train, right? As soon as she gets the engine rolling, she's kind of impossible to stop. Especially with all the super armor, she can be quite the pain in the ass. But what do you guys think? Again, I put this matchup is so much pain and misery. You have no idea. And the reason why is just, like, look at him. Like when these lower intellect players play GP, like, they know I don't have to engage. All I have to do is back up, throw my shadows, spam the spear, and when going gets tough, I reset, gain pressure in some sort of way, like the counter that's unblockable. You are not unblockable, but it's uncounterable. You can't grab it. You can't punch out of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to beat. So, they have a lot of reversal options to where it resets the neutral, and in the neutral they can make it very annoying to get close, like he's doing right now. You know what I mean? And then it's like, how do you get close to that? How do you walk in without getting smacked? You know what I'm saying? It's very counterintuitive. It's very hard, especially when, again, you have an anti-projectile ability, but it sucks. So it's like, how do you trust it? And then, like, that conversion has a very large gap in it. So I have to try and rely on something else. I have to try and use something else on defense to continue my pressure, or at least understand when to give up my pressure, right? Which sucks, being a character that has to have multiple positive interactions to win. But again, acquiescing, I still haven't gotten into that mindset of acquiescing my turn. I just don't want to do it, especially when the other player has an easier time doing way more. I want to show them that they have to do more to get what they want. You know what I'm saying? And look what I told you about that drive impact. You can just grab it. You can just grab that shit. Like, see, I won, but it's not enough for me. I have to win twice. I have to do it. I won't be satisfied any other way. If I lose, like, alright, whatever, his character is better than mine anyway, it doesn't matter to me. But if I win, like, at least I know I'm improving. I'm improving as a player. That cross-up grab is crazy. This fact that the spikes change direction too, it's just, you know what I'm saying? The second spike hit forward, but the first spike hit back. It's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much things that kind of like autopilot the game for him to where he doesn't have to think. All he has to do is click the button. Like, it's whatever, man. I'm over it. I'm off it. Fuck. I'm over it, man. Look at the look. He's not even playing the neutral game. He's literally just shooting. He's just literally throwing rocks. He's literally just throwing rocks. Like, I failed my jump. That's fine. I have to play better. And like now he's just smashing his head on his controller. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do something that something will work. High level play. High level play. So interesting. So exciting. And then he one and dones me. Bro, fuck.